Something is shifting in women's basketball right now, and it feels like a new name is starting to take over conversations everywhere, from highlight reels to social media debates, because Joyce Edwards is suddenly becoming one of the most talked about young players in the game today. Every time she steps on the court, there is this growing feeling that something special might happen, and fans are starting to realize that her rise is not random, but built on consistent dominance and steady improvement over time. What makes it even more interesting is how fast her name is spreading, because it didn't come from controversy or media hype, but from pure performance that keeps forcing people to pay attention again and again. The basketball world is now beginning to treat her not just as a prospect, but as a serious future star whose journey is still at a very early but extremely promising stage. And as more clips go viral online, the curiosity around her life, her mindset, and her future continues to grow stronger every single day. People are now asking deeper questions about who she is beyond the highlights, what drives her, and what kind of future she is building behind the scenes. And that curiosity is exactly what has pushed her into trending conversations across multiple platforms. She didn't enter the spotlight through loud media attention or big promotional campaigns, but instead through consistent performances that slowly forced scouts, fans, and analysts to start noticing her impact on the court. Every game she plays seems to add another layer to her growing reputation, and it feels like she is constantly evolving her game in real time, which makes her development even more exciting to watch. Her scoring ability, physical strength, and confidence under pressure make her stand out in a way that feels rare for her age group. Coaches and analysts often describe her as someone who plays with maturity beyond her years, especially when the game becomes tight and pressure is high. That kind of mental toughness is what separates good players from future elite-level athletes, and she seems to already possess that quality naturally. And because of that, every performance becomes a new reason for fans to believe she is heading towards something special. Her rise is not loud, but it is steady, and that makes it even more dangerous for opponents. Online, her highlights are spreading fast, and each clip seems to show something new, whether it is a strong finish at the rim, a defensive stop, or a moment where she completely takes control of the game. Fans replay these moments over and over, trying to understand how one player can look so composed while still being so young and early in her journey. There is a calm confidence in her style that feels unusual, almost like she is never rushed by the moment or the pressure around her. Even when the crowd gets loud or the situation becomes intense, she seems to stay locked into her rhythm without losing focus. That kind of control is what makes her highlights more than just entertainment. It turns them into signs of something bigger developing. And every new game adds another reason why people believe her ceiling is extremely high. The internet is not just watching her anymore, it is studying her growth. Off the court, Joyce Edwards keeps a very low profile, and that silence has become part of what makes her even more interesting to fans who are used to constant social media updates from young athletes today. She does not overshare her personal life, and most of what people see is strictly related to basketball or official appearances tied to the sport. That privacy creates a sense of mystery around her, because the less she reveals, the more people want to know about her real life behind the scenes. Some describe her as focused, disciplined, and very intentional about staying away from distractions that could affect her development. This kind of mindset is often seen in athletes who are serious about long-term success rather than short-term attention. And in her case, that discipline seems to be shaping how she approaches both training and public attention. It gives her story a more grounded and serious tone compared to typical rising sports personalities. One of the biggest topics fans always try to search for is her lifestyle, but what they often find is very limited, because there is no public display of luxury or fame-driven behavior attached to her name at this stage. Instead, everything about her current life appears to be centered around training, school, development, and improving her game step by step. There are no verified signs of a flashy lifestyle or early celebrity behavior, which actually makes her story more focused and athletic-driven. This kind of structure is often what builds long-term success in sports, because it keeps attention on performance instead of distractions. And it also shows that her journey is still in a building phase, not a finished story. Fans are beginning to understand that what they see now is just the foundation of something much bigger, and that makes every update about her even more important to follow. Another major question people often ask is about her net worth, but the reality is that as an amateur and developing athlete, there is no official or verified net worth available publicly. At this stage, her value is not financial in a traditional sense, but rather based on potential, recruitment interest, and future opportunities that may come from her continued growth. Most of the conversation around her value is really about what she could become in the next level of basketball rather than what she currently has. That is why analysts focus more on her skills, consistency, and development rather than financial estimates. Because in young athletes like her, potential is the real currency everyone is watching. And right now, that potential is considered extremely high by many observers, which is why her name keeps appearing in trending discussions. Then there is the question of her personal relationships, which fans often speculate about online, but there is no confirmed or verified public information about her having a boyfriend or being involved in any public relationship. She has kept that part of her life completely private, and there are no official reports or statements that suggest otherwise. This privacy is actually quite common for young athletes who are focused heavily on development and competition rather than public attention. And because she stays away from sharing personal details, it leaves more room for speculation and curiosity among fans. But at the end of the day, her story remains centered on basketball, not personal headlines. And that focus is part of what keeps her image clean and professional at this stage of her journey. It reinforces the idea that her main priority is growth in the sport. What makes her rise even more interesting is how quickly expectations are building around her future, because once a young athlete starts performing consistently, comparisons and predictions naturally begin to follow. Some people already see her as a future star at higher levels of competition, while others are more cautious and want to see how she develops over time. That mix of excitement and uncertainty is exactly what keeps her name circulating online every week. Every performance becomes a new data point for fans and analysts trying to predict what comes next. And that constant discussion keeps her relevance strong even outside of game days. She is becoming one of those names that people follow whether she is playing or not. And that is a sign of rising influence in sports culture. There is also a growing trend of comparing her to other top young players in women's basketball. And while comparisons are not always fair, they are inevitable when someone starts gaining attention at her level. Fans debate her strengths, her potential, and how she stacks up against other rising stars, which only increases engagement around her name. These conversations often spread across social platforms, keeping her in constant circulation. And while comparisons can be overwhelming, they also show how much attention she is already commanding. Because athletes are only compared when people believe they are important enough to discuss. And she has clearly reached that point in public perception, which is why her growth continues to be closely followed. Despite all the attention, the most important part of her story is still the same. She is developing, learning, and building her career step by step without rushing the process or letting outside noise define her path. There is a quiet determination in how she approaches the game, and that consistency is what makes her stand out even more than flashy moments. She is not just a highlight player, but someone building a foundation for long-term success. And that is why every update about her feels important to fans who are watching her journey unfold. Because stories like hers do not happen every day in sports. And people know they are witnessing the early stages of something bigger, something that is still being written. And that is exactly why Joyce Edwards continues to trend across the basketball world, because every single game she plays feels like another moment where something big is about to happen, and fans are always left watching closely, waiting to see if this is the performance where she fully breaks out into national superstar status. Her journey is still unfolding in real time, and every highlight, every possession, and every decision on the court adds another layer to her growing story, making people more curious about how far her talent and mentality can really take her in the future. Fans are now watching her not just as a young player, but as a rising name in women's basketball whose ceiling is still unknown, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps conversations about her alive across social media every day. The mystery around her development, combined with her natural talent, confidence, and ability to perform under pressure, has created a narrative that feels bigger than just high school or early career basketball moments. Nothing about her future is fully written yet, and that open-ended path is what makes her so fascinating to follow. because every game feels like it could change how people view her entire career trajectory. If you enjoy stories like this, where rising stars, mystery, and real basketball journeys come together into one narrative, then this is exactly the kind of content we bring to you on Celescore TV every day. Make sure you support Celescore TV by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting, because we break down trending basketball stories, rising talents, and hidden narratives like this before they blow up everywhere.